What's up, guys? Welcome to Forge Master Metal Reviews, the place where you can get the most out of your metal musicians and fans alike. This week, we have the wonderfully talented death metal guitarist and YouTuber Claine Lamb on the show to talk about her most influential and favorite death metal records of all time, some super cool stories and unexpected successes on her YouTube channel, Claine's World, and what it's like to branch out as a modern metal musician and find success on YouTube and Twitch. This was easily one of our favorite interviews. Claine was wonderfully genuine, and we left this conversation feeling hugely inspired. What are some of your favorite death metal records? Throw them in the comments below. Hit that like button. Let's get to the interview. Welcome to the show, Claine Lamb. Introduce yourself. What is your channel all about?
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me. Yeah, my name is Claine. It's what I go by. People also know me as Claire, but yeah, I'm trying to go by Claine now. So my channel is Claine's World, and you know, lots of death metal, black metal is kind of what happens there, whether I'm playing guitar, doing covers, or my own band, some composition challenges, some live streams, some gear stuff, some theory stuff, kind of like whatever I'm feeling like doing, I'll give it a shot and then see if people like it.
Seems like a lot of people do like it. You have quite a few subscribers. How many are you at now?
Over 15,000 now, which is very exciting and cool and super unexpected.
Give yourself some more credit.
I don't know. Like, I think the composition challenges I did are a really good example of how I just have no idea what people want from me, because I thought those videos were such shit. And I was like, these fucking suck. I can't put these out. And then I put them out, and people were so stoked, like messaging me on the Discord, like, this was so cool, and they're all incorporating ways to do their own composition challenge. So it's nice, because you're like, oh shit, well, but I have no idea what people want, I guess.
You know what was cool about that too, that I actually really loved, and I know you watched Nerd Forge, because that was, I think, your inspiration. I think that was such a cool thing to see, a totally different YouTuber that does like visual elements, and you were like, how can I do this for music?
Yeah, and I love that inspiration. You know, you don't necessarily have to get music inspiration from other music. You know, it can come from anything. And yeah, I was just, ever since I watched that one where she was doing it for painting, and I do some painting, but I was immediately like, I need to figure out a way to do this for music, because I thought it was such a cool idea, and it seemed like she grew a lot and kind of like surprised herself at the end of it with what she was able to do in that amount of time. So I just thought it was really sick, and I wanted to do something similar with music. So props to Nerd Forge.
Speaking of nerdy stuff, what is your first choice for your favorite death metal record?
I'm immediately throwing a wrench in the mix, because my answers are gonna kind of not be like the record, because for sure Necrophagist has to be on the list for me, and I can't really decide between Onset and Epitaph. Like, I love both of them so much, and they're like some of my formative death metal, like influenced me to start playing guitar, so they have to be on the list. And I know this isn't really as an album, but the live videos where they are playing with Marco Miniman, the drummer, it's just perfection. And I know he's not, the drums aren't like that on the albums, but what he does, the little nuances, and I'm not a drummer at all, so I don't know like what he's doing, but it's so awesome. So I know I'm immediately not necessarily giving you an album, but live Necrophagist with Marco Miniman is my first choice.
I like the particularness of that, because you can have Necrophagist, but then you can also have Necrophagist with Marco Miniman, and that's almost, it's a whole different level.
Yeah, they're dynamic together, like how they're working off each other. And when you see that live, and Muhammad's like doing a solo, and you know, he's sort of doing some rubato or something, like in and out of time, and you can just see that Marco is like watching him so intently. And I don't know if he's like improvising some of what he does, or if it's really like set what he's playing, but it just seems like they're playing off of each other instead of like I'm playing my instrument and I'm doing my parts. It seems like a way more involved like unit, and I think that's just so sick.
So within the last year, you have started live streaming your guitar practicing, which is awesome. Guitar unboxings, and these videos have done very well for your channel with views. Live streaming really seems to be an art form in itself, and you've done very well with these connections with your fans. So how has live streaming helped you move things forward?
I think live streaming has filled that void, that gigantic void that is staring back at us with the pandemic going on. Like, nobody's going to shows, you're not jamming, you're not having that like metal community kind of thing going on, and live streaming feels so close to that. It's really like the best alternative. When I started doing it, I just kind of thought like, oh, I'll see what happens. I was put out of work from the pandemic, so I decided I wanted to really give her on YouTube, and started trying to do streams on Twitch as well, and I just realized that it was like so much fun, and I was like really getting to know my community, because you're actually talking to them and you're learning about them and you're sharing stuff. It's more of like a two-way thing instead of just me, here's my content, right? You're kind of going back and forth. So I got way closer with my community, which I think is awesome. And then, yeah, just filling that void of not being able to go to shows or play shows. It feels as close to that as we can get right now.
What's your favorite thing to live stream right now?
So what I sort of started doing when I was live streaming, I would just get people to like request a song, and I would look up the tab on Songster, and as long as it was in a tuning that one of my guitars was in, because the pitch shifter on my pod is broken, so as long as it was in one of the tunings that I had available, I would just sight read it. I press play on the tab and just go with it, and it was just so hilarious and a really good time for me. And I discovered a lot of new music, because I tend to like always listen to the same stuff probably for like the last 10 to 15 years. I found what I like and I just stay there. So people requesting songs that I've never heard before, and it's like really fun and exciting. And it was just a hilarious blast for me to do. We started getting really rowdy on Fridays for a while, where I would do these sight reads of songs, but I guess they're not total sight reads, because I would have ones that I had done a few times, and I started using this app called Go Play Along, where you can sync the actual song to a tab, so you don't have that shitty tab audio. So I started using that. So I had songs that I had like played a few times, but I haven't like learned them or memorized them or anything. So as I play, I would call out like, that was a fuck up, and one of my mods would take a tally, and so whatever that tally was at the end of that song was how many swigs of my beer I had to take. So Fridays were getting pretty rowdy from that. That's where like burp requests happened because of Fridays, because you have a few beers and you start being like, I can burp words, and so now there's a whole burp requesting thing people can do. Yeah, those were some of my favorite streams for sure.
Speaking of burping words.
Yeah, burping words. What's your second favorite death metal album?
Yeah, I guess like death metal vocals just kind of sound like burping to some people. For the second one, it's kind of a similar wrench style situation, because I also have to pick a Decapitated album, an early Decapitated, because they're also super formative for me. Like when I was a teenager, Vogue was like, okay, that's just who I want to be. I just want to be Vogue, and I feel like I'm still trying to be Vogue and just not nearly as good. But so for the first three albums is where it's at for me. Narrowing it down to a favorite, I feel like I would probably choose Nihility, but that's like by a very slight margin that it's winning. And also for live videos, when they had Sauron as a vocalist, his live vocals, yes, that's just what you want to do. It's so beefy, especially they have a live video of Three-Dimensional Defect. I know that song's on the Negation album, and it's from 2004 or something. They're playing some festival in Poland, and his vocals are so fucking sick. like that, just the reverb and the echo that they're getting from the live setting, it just isn't in the albums, you know. And so for me, I will like listen to that version of that song instead of the studio, because it's like the best vocals ever. It's so aggressive, just echoing, heavy, low burping, you know.
You have your own band, the Hallowed Catharsis, and you released an EP called Kill Owner back in June of 2020 on Lacerated Enemy Records. Fantastic EP, by the way. Killer riffing and feel all over the damn thing. You put together a contest, though, on your channel called the SHREDUARY Challenge, which I thought was really cool, where musicians could submit covers of one of your songs, the song Kill Owner. Can you talk more about the inspiration for that contest, what sort of growth your channel saw, and how was it making that final collab video?
Thank you so much. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. That SHREDUARY Challenge actually came up because like sometimes when we have somebody like buy something off the merch store, the other guitarist, Kyle, he kind of sends out the orders. So he'll usually send us a screenshot on our band group chat just to show us like who's ordering. This guy had ordered quite a few items. So Lita had this idea like, oh, we should challenge him to learn a song and then maybe we'll send him a t-shirt or something. Then I thought, you know, maybe we should just expand that. Why don't we just challenge a bunch of people to learn a song, and then we can, you know, give them some sort of merch. And we talked about it as a band for a while because we were worried, like, if we do this and almost nobody submits a song, is that going to be kind of embarrassing for us? So I put the feelers out on my Discord to see if there was some interest, and there was. So we thought, like, if we get 6 submissions, we'd be stoked. And in the end, we actually got 21 submissions, so that blew our fucking minds. Like, we were so floored by the motivation of people, and we had people, like, as soon as I announced it, within a week they had videos up. And then not only that, there were people that did like guitar, bass, vocals, and programmed drums. One of my Twitch mods, he made a programmed drums file and shared it. So seeing people go so above and beyond, and that same mod of mine who did the programmed drums, he did like a straight up music video with the vocalist of Summoning the Lich. They had this like Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind of style. His fiance came in as like an alien, and they have him like walking around on a leash, like crawling on, you know. It just was so awesome to see that people, they went above and beyond any expectation we had. So it was really awesome to see that. I was just like so floored by it and awestruck. And then when I started trying to put them together, I didn't know how I wanted to break up the video. I know I wanted to try to give everybody like a little bit equal screen time, but I ended up layering everyone that did vocals together. And then after that happened, I just couldn't go back because it sounded so fucking evil, amazing. You had like 5 or 6 death metal vocals with everybody has like very different styles as well. So you have all these different vocals together at the same time. It was just so cool to me. So then I definitely gave preferential treatment to anyone that did vocals, and I put them a bunch of times because I needed to hear the whole song like that, you know?
That's so cool that you did that. That's a whole nother step beyond just releasing an EP. You know, like you created like an artistic moment in history where you're involving your audience.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice.
And it's brilliant. You're getting people to talk about your EP beyond its release date, you know?
Yeah, we wanted to be able to kind of like generate some interest again because we haven't been able to jam together. So our full-length album that we want to put out is moving very slowly because we had written 6 songs, but obviously that's not done for us yet. So we haven't, and we want to write together in the jam spot. We don't want to like, oh, I'll write something on Guitar Pro and send you that. We want the organic kind of whole group system of, you know, hashing stuff out together. So we wanted to kind of, generate some interest in it again. And I think, I mean, it worked for us since we were hoping for like 6 people to play a song and we got 21 or whatever. So it worked, I guess.
Hopefully next time you do it, you just break the internet.
Hopefully, although it would be much harder to get the compilation video all together if we had even more submissions. So
it's another death metal record time. What's the third choice?
Okay, so I think my Wrenches videos are getting smaller because I'm gonna give an actual album this time, but with a kind of caveat. I love Cytotoxin, and I would say they're kind of like a newish discovery for me the last 3 years or so. And for me, that's big because, like I was saying, I kind of listened to the same stuff for like 10 to 15 years, and they just always stay at the top for me. But when I heard Cytotoxin, I heard the Gamageddon album for the first, and this is fucking amazing. So I would pick Gamageddon, although their album Radiophobia is also really awesome, and they released Lupus Aurora last year, and it's really good as well. And also, an additional caveat to that is that I think Origin's Antithesis album has to get an honorable mention because I really love that album, and I feel like Cytotoxin, especially that Gamageddon album, sounds a lot like that Origin Antithesis album, but just with like way crazier production and like even more technicality and speed and stuff. So they get an honorable mention there because Gamageddon only just like replaced that one for me, but I still bump that Antithesis album all the time because it's so sick.
Cytotoxin is nothing but riffs, man.
It's so sick. I was playing quite a bit of Cytotoxin on my Twitch streams, and that shit is difficult. So crazy.
Now, you also work on your husband's YouTube channel, Claine Lamb, who is the guitarist of the tech death metal Giant Archspire. I love your chemistry together, and the editing is absolutely fantastic. The channel has seen some incredible growth. Can you talk a little bit about what that channel is, and between both of your channels, what's your approach with trying to diversify income streams?
Dean's channel has been a cool thing to watch because he was doing his own thing for quite a few years on there, and he started doing like a long form learn something and have very minimal editing. And for like probably a year I was trying to convince Dean to do videos with me. I thought it would be really hilarious and awesome if we could learn stuff together, and he was not down for a long time because he thought it would just be weird having like two guitarists learning different guitar parts. He thought it just wasn't gonna work. I just battered him down, eventually convinced him. So actually the very first episode we do together is like 45 minutes long, and the editing is shit because I edited that one because I was like, I'll do the first one, you don't have to do anything except be in the video, and I'll prove to you that it's a good idea. So we did that one, and yeah, people really liked it, and it wasn't as awkward or weird for two guitars at the same time. So then we just started doing it more and more, and then it kind of turned into like the four levels thing, and yeah, it just sort of keeps morphing. We actually have been talking recently that we're probably going to change the format again because we've been doing the 4 levels where we tell bands to give us an easy, medium, hard, extra hard, but actually we're like, by the way, make them super easy because the actual guitar playing we do is so minimal. Like it's 90% bullshit and like 10% guitar playing. So we don't want actually really hard riffs because there's just no way we'll learn them in that amount of time. So I think we're going to change it because people keep sending us stuff that's too difficult. We're like, no, we're not learning this in this amount of time. So we've sort of thinking about changing it to just like 4 riffs. I don't know if we'll have to change the name or whatever, but it is cool doing that. And like, you know, sometimes we say something in one of those videos that we think is a really funny bit, and then people will request merch for that. So we have some merch like that. Like we have our constant ongoing bit about the big beautiful crows, and Richard is our neighborhood crow that we feed the most. So we have like a picture of him, and Dean sort of made like a Magic the Gathering style card. So that's like a merch item. And then on one of the videos I said, you and me are your team, and so he made it like the shitty like sports poster, you know, that like every gym teacher had. So that's like a merch item. So, you know, just like dumb meme shit like that as a potential income stream. But then we also sell like the tab packages. Most of them are Dean's, but like I did the classical ones, and those are on his website. So we find like a good balance of serious stuff and like total meme stupid bullshit stuff.
You know what's really cool about that too is I love that you wear the nerd thing on your guys' shoulders. I'm a huge Dark Souls fan. I mean, that was one of the reasons why I really gravitated towards you guys, was because it's like, oh my God, more metalheads that love Dark Souls. It's so much fun to watch that when you find somebody that you haven't even met yet, but you feel like you're connected to.
Totally. Yeah. And yeah, we are Dark Souls till death. I mean, talking about the nerd shit, like I have a fucking sword on my wall. And I also a 3-headed dragon poster. I've got like a crow here. I've got my Dark Souls miniatures, actually. You know, just so nerdy. And also, Dean and I, we have matching Dark Souls tattoos. I'll try to...
Oh, shit.
Nice.
Yeah, so we played through Dark Souls 1 together, and our character used the Zweihander. So we wanted to get a wedding tattoo, matching wedding tattoos, so we got the Zweihander on the back of our calves. And I like to think that when we're walking around, like both in shorts, and people can see that maybe people think we're part of like some LARP group or something, you know, or like some sword fighting crew, I don't know.
There's something really great and endearing about that. My wife, for example, like we play games together. You can't see our video gaming setup, but we have 2 huge TVs and like a powered couch with a fridge. And like we play Dark Souls together. It's just fun to see other people doing that and being like, I'm in my 30s and I know I'm not a loser because other people do it too, you know?
Yeah, totally. And I'm glad. I think that stigma is kind of going away. You know, growing up, people definitely think you're a piece of shit if you play video games all the time, but I'd like to think that stigma is kind of going away. And I mean, games are like they're such an amazing art form, right? Because you have visual art, the story potentially can be amazing, the music, like in so many video games, is just unreal. So it's like so many different forms of art coming together in just like one amazing entity. Like I have huge respect for video game designers and anybody that works on that. Like I personally would love to score for a video game one day. I think that would be really awesome.
You should. You'd be really good at it with that piano in the back. I've seen you play that thing. You can crush on piano.
Thank you. Yeah, I started on piano, actually. It's my first love, if you will.
All right, now to really get to your first love.
What is your fourth and final choice? Now, I know you had an honorable mention, so you can leave that as your honorable mention, or you can move that into your fourth choice. But what's your fourth and final choice for your favorite death metal record? And then you have to plug any projects you have going and shout out any bands that you want to shout out.
I'm going to leave Origin as that honorable mention because I knew I had to include a Deicide album in my top 4. I love Deicide and I've loved them for a long time, and I've been to a lot of shows, and when I drove down to Seattle a few years ago to see them, that was like probably the best show I've ever seen. They were so fucking amazing. Just great. So for me, I think I would have to choose the Once Upon the Cross album. Yeah, it's so like thrashy, old school death metal. It's definitely my go-to kind of like party music. I want to have a good time, just feel the vibes. Like Deicide always amps me up in the best way. Like it just always cheers me up. So if you're kind of like feeling low, feeling slow, just pop on Once Upon the Cross and you'll be ready to go.
I don't know if Glenn Benton wants to be understood as party music.
Well, it's my kind of party music. Oh, also, I should say I had one of the best dreams of all time a few weeks ago. I dreamt that I went on tour with Deicide as a fill-in guitarist. It was great. I was like hanging out with Glenn Benton in my dream and playing shows with Deicide. It was really sick.
We can @ Glenn Benton after this. Maybe it'll happen.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't seem very far-fetched.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe one day they'll see some of my covers and think they should bring me on tour. That'd be great. Okay, so for plugs, just yesterday actually, I was an actor in a music video for this local death metal band here called Anarcheon, hence the hangover. It got a little rowdy at the shoot. I will plug that band and that music video. I'm not sure when it's going to come out, but yeah, Anarcheon, the song that the music video is for is called Hollow, so I'll plug that. I don't know, maybe in a couple months or something it'll be out, but it was really fun. The story idea was that the band, they're vampires, but they kind of like suck at their instruments and they're not really getting anywhere and they're sick of it. So they decide, you know what, like this is bullshit. Let's go capture the musicians in the local scene that we like and we want to be like, and we'll drink their blood and we'll absorb their power. And yeah, it was really fun. I got like attacked by the butler and stabbed with some needles. I like shrieked and passed out, and they drag you to the dining table and you slump down and you have an IV and stuff. It was really fun. Really good time. And I've never been a part of anything like that at all, so it was awesome.
It sounds like you are branching out, you're reaching out, you're staying hungry, you're getting after it. Your entrepreneurial spirit is very inspiring. We want to thank you so much today for your time. We appreciate it. Claine, for those of you who don't know yet, Claine's World, you better go check it out.
Follow and subscribe.
Thank you so much, guys. I really enjoyed talking to you both. I appreciate you having me on.
And if you ever want to talk Dark Souls or something, hit me up. Or if you ever want to do another collab or something like that. We're musicians too. We're not nearly as good as you, but you know, we can hang.
Oh yeah, I would love to. I would absolutely love to, and I'd love to get to know more about your New England metal scene, because I feel like if it's very culturally inspired, there's got to be like some witchcraft or something, right? Some Bloodborne-esque style metal or something.
There's a lot of that for sure. I'll send you some links.
Awesome. Yeah, can't wait.
All right, you take care. Enjoy your week, and thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.